1.77 released today, and I've already found myself an absolute gem among all of the new vehicles. Now, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I always used to do tank reviews on World of Tanks, and I've been playing War Thunder for nearly as long, but I just never could quite figure out how to do the formula. But I've got some footage now, and now that I've got that, I just really want to be able to show you guys exactly what I've got and what I've been messing around with. So, patch just rolled out. I did give Gaijin some money. I know, stop, don't cast your judgment against me. It was terrible and awful and I shouldn't have done it. But I did. And one of the things I bought was this absolute beauty of a plane. This is the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 5B, the non-tropical variant of this thing, which also got a model rework. We'll talk about this plane in another video. Right now, let's focus on the star of the show. So, the Mark 5B is at 3.7. It comes off of the Mark 2B Spitfire, and it's one of the first available Spitfires of rank 3. Obviously falling in the Mark 5 bracket. I've only played, well, obviously, I've played, out of the 3 aircraft of the 4 I have, this is definitely my favourite so far, hence why I'm choosing it for my first vehicle review. This also happens to be my most long-awaited aircraft in War Thunder. So let's go down the list of some statistics and talk about the aircraft and what she's capable of. So first things first, we've got a maximum speed of 589 kilometers per hour, which is pretty good for a 3.7 aircraft. I mean, it's not fantastic or award-winning. I mean, these statistics are very much take them with a pinch of salt, and I'll be giving my views of the aircraft based really on the gameplay. Turn time is 16.5 seconds, and this is a very common theme among the low-tier Spitfires, especially the British aircraft in general, just tend to have very, very good turn times, and I'd say this statistic is more accurate than not. Nearly every time you get yourself into a fight with a BF-109, you are going to be outmaneuvering him, and you are going to be beating him in that turn fight. The vehicle's rate of climb is showing at 18 meters per second. That's a fairly respectable rate of climb, but obviously this is again subject to a lot of things, very much to the conditions of the aircraft's around and the altitude you're flying at. This plane, I can say from personal experience, is an absolute monster in the climb. This thing will reach those higher altitudes very, very quickly. I stick this aircraft on web, and it's not impossible to be climbing very nicely at a 20-degree angle. The plane is an absolute beast. Moving on to the armament, the Spitfire Mark 5B features 2 20mm Hispano cannons. If we go to the X-ray view, we can see here, mounted in the wings with 60 rounds per gun for 120 shots total, and 4 7.7mm machine guns with 1400 rounds total and 350 per gun, mounted here in the wings. Guns are probably the most lackluster parts of the aircraft, save maybe the armor, which we'll talk about in a second. It won't take very long, but you know. They really just kind of, the 20mm Hispanos are going to be the workhorse of your armor. While your 7.7s are just kind of, they're just there. Tickle opponents. You're going to see in the gameplay that I'm going to show you that these 7.7s really are not going to do the work at this tier, like they do for the 2B and the Mark 1 at the lower ranks. The Hispanos, however, they are your workhorse with only 60 rounds per gun. You really need to be patient on the triggers, so I would massively advise going for the Mark II year 1943 modification as soon as you can to try and get the best performance out of these guns. So the loadouts I tend to run, the Spitfires, I personally never use solid tracer ammos, tracer shells in anything. For me, it's stealth all of the way. Default, no. Universal, maybe at first to get used to leading the shots. Once you've got yourself some experience and you get used to how the guns work, stealth rounds all the way for 7.7s. Normally, I'd say the same thing for the Hispano in 20mm, and this kind of comes down to your personal preference. I'm using universal gun belts because I like to be able to aim with my Hispano shells, so I can judge bait. So I pull the trigger, tracer shell comes out, and I use that tracer to just kind of home in the rest of my shots and try and do the damage. Air target belts and stealth shells I find also to be very good choices. I find the tracers to be a bit of a waste of time. They're not that different really from the universal. I just don't ever seem to have as much luck with them as do the universal belts. And obviously then you have ground target belts for if you're using this aircraft in ground forces battles. I wouldn't recommend using them at all in air battles, and to be honest, there are definitely better planes to take out into ground forces with you, because as we see from looking at the modifications page again, this aircraft cannot carry bombs. These guns are all you're going to get. The Mark 5B is very much an air superiority fighter, but it is very good in that role. So let's just talk very quickly about the armour. Don't get shot in the Spitfire is basically all I can say. You've got a 3mm steel plate just here in front of the propeller, which is guarding the engine. Not going to save you. You have another 1mm plate behind the engine to help try and guard the fuel tanks. This will save you in a head-on pass, but what's going to be saving you is going to be the engine. The shells are going to eat through your engine, and the next plane just whizzes past you while you glide towards the ground, basically. You do have these nice fuel tanks here. One is self-sealing, one isn't. Don't entirely understand why. These fuel tanks are surprisingly efficient, though. I have actually stopped a fair few fires in this aircraft, which is not something I've been used to from Spitfires. If we go back to the armour tab, we will see obviously the pilot's seat is going to add some protection, and there is a 7mm steel plate behind you. In other words, this will save your pilot from some small caliber machine gun rounds that are coming through the rear of the aircraft, but don't expect it to do much. And we also have 38mm of bulletproof glass, so an effective angling of about 64mm from this angle. But again, don't be relying on this to save you. This is all very much kind of situational, really. So I'm going to go back to the X-ray view for a minute. If you find yourself in an engagement with a Spitfire, for the love of God, do not turn with this plane. This thing is an absolute monster in the turn fight. I recommend boom and zoom tactics, and always trying to attack from above if you can. As to where to aim for it, just aim for the center, try and hit the engine, try and get the fuel tanks. Spitfire pilots, do not go into a head-on pass with BF-109s. At 3.7, the aircraft you're most prevalent to be facing are going to be the BF-109Fs. And the 109F has a 20mm in the nose, which means it's going to beat you in every single head-on pass. Don't do it. Same thing goes for the G2, because you are going to see a lot of up-tiers, because it is just that doomed 3.7 BR. You're going to get up-tier to 4.3. Don't go head-on with 109s. Don't even think about going head-on with these things that are still infesting the matchmaker. Fighting the Italians, I have really mixed views about the Italians. I've not really got that far with the aircraft myself, but from fighting them, expect to see 202 ECs, expect to see 205s, expect to see G55s, and this is probably the scariest plane you're going to meet. Do not fight these planes. Don't give them the chance to shoot at you, because those 151s will tear through your plane, and you will regret every decision you've ever made. Fighting the Japanese, I've actually not fought the Japanese in this aircraft yet, but standard rules apply. Zeros are going to outturn you. Aircraft like the J2M are going to outclimb you. So just be prepared to be adaptive against the Japanese. I mean, no one really knows how to fight the Japanese. You just kind of do it and see what works for you. On the rare occasions you get Hokkaido, you're going to absolutely slaughter the American teams. I feel like Hokkaido should be reserved only for rank 4 and above, because down at rank, because I had one rank 3 match against the Americans, I was the top, I was the only 3.7 on my team, I was also the highest BR aircraft. There were hordes of P-39 Aerocobras, there were a couple of P-38s, but none of them could really touch me. It was an absolute slaughter. So going back to Mark 5B, then overall what you have here is a more or less just a beefed up version of the Mark 2B. It's one lackluster feature in my opinion are the guns. Don't get shot, but then again you're in a plane, you shouldn't be playing to get shot anyway. Use your maneuverability. This aircraft can energy fight as well. It's a very, very good jack of all trades, master of none plane. Although saying that, you'll be hard pressed to find a better turn fighter that isn't also a Spitfire. So I think I've rambled on about the plane enough, so let's go and jump into some gameplay and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So unfortunately, because I am a scrub, we're going to have to put up with War Thunder's replay system. Yeah, I didn't quite think as far ahead as I really should have. So we are playing on Norway, we are in the Mark 5B Spitfire, and this is actually a 3.7 games. This is the best matchmaking we could possibly do. Now, I haven't played that many games in the Spitfire since I've unlocked it, but this is by far the best one and showcases all the strengths and even some of the weaknesses of the aircraft. So we are climbing up to 4,000 meters. I haven't quite at this point realised what the matchmaker actually was, so I'm not aware of the fact that this is a 3.7 game and I'm actually top tier in this battle. But the cogs start turning eventually as we start seeing some of these lower level attacking bombs. So the start of this game is pretty much your standard ally battle. You climb because if you don't, you're going to lose. I don't care what BR it is. I don't care if you decide to take bombs on your P40, you climb. Now at this point I've just noticed 2 aircraft heading for the landing craft on Norway. Guys, if you're gonna go for landing craft in Norway, be sensible, like get some fighter escorts with you, because someone's always looking. I mean, I always try to bank more to the left side of the map. Now we are closing in on an Italian aircraft. Now there are 2 planes down in here. One of them is an SM-79, and the other one, yeah, the SM-79's out there. The other one is the Z-100-07. Now I'm trying to choose which of these aircraft I want to go for. And I'm going back and forth trying to decide, thinking, well, who's going to give me the better shot? In the back of my mind, I'm thinking I've only got a very limited supply of ammunition. There's a spec to the top right-hand corner of the screen. There he is. That's a BF-1. We're going to see more of him in a second. I decided to go for the SM-79. This is actually a bit of a misplay, I feel, because I really should have gone for the F-109. So I jumped on the SM-79. There's 20mm to the one that I mentioned earlier. And absolutely just wrecking house, annihilating his plane. Now, because my total scroll, I've got to put my headphones in, so I'm just going to do that so that the audio doesn't get completely screwed up. So now we're closing on the Z1. So what you can't see is I'm actually looking around the aircraft, and some the F-109 is coming in to fight me, so I reverse her around. Come back, finish off the SM-79, he is now shot down. There's the BF-1 and F4. So this, the 109 F4 in my opinion is the most comparable plane to the Spitfire Mark 5. That was the last one I can shoot, so I now have to shoot down a 109 F4 running my 77s. Now what you're not seeing is a lot of sparks as I close in this guy. The 109 F4 decides to turn fight with me, and you can clearly see my plane has no trouble keeping up with him. Without those 20mm spawners, I'm having a lot of problems shooting him now. Seeing some of the sparks there. I'm actually hitting a lot more shots than it appears, and then this happens. The 109 goes straight up into the vertical, which is very totally easy if I can let enough energy that he can pull down and shoot me. This is one of the most beautiful engagements I've ever fought. I drop down, the 109 drops down as well. I just managed to skim past his shots. He outdives me, I spiral in, coming up from underneath him, and I'm about to give him the last of my 7.7 attack. Again, filling up his plane, you can't really see it, but I'm actually landing a lot of hits. There were a lot of sparks on the service today, so this could actually, in hindsight, have been a connectivity issue. My ping at this point was pretty good. The 109 F4 does go down for my second kill of the game. Now, at this point, I am pretty much just completely out of ammunition. So, while I'm flying back to the aircraft carriers to try and rearm, the rest of my team engages the rest of the enemy team. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go well. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit here. Keeping an eye on the kill feed, you can see that our aircraft are starting to go down. There's a lot of action happening over the A point. Creeping up on the aircraft carriers, I kill my engine. Trying to glide in. You can land with the gear down. I would personally recommend not doing it, but this is actually also going to be my second misplay because I haven't been paying attention to the fact that our entire team has been shot down. Oh, it's chaotic. There was some trouble with like team killing at the start of the round as well that I'll have cut out for this video, but yeah, it is what it is. So we bring the Spitfire down, kill the propeller, and drift to the end of the runway. Carrier's flight deck. So I get my 50-second repair reload, and this is at this point I start noticing that actually there are 3 of them against 4 of us, so we've probably got this. What is that Wellington doing? Is he going to try and land a Wellington on an aircraft carrier? I think he is. It doesn't go well. It really doesn't go well, so I'm going to speed things up again. There's actually also an F4U Corsair, who tries to land on the runway as well. He crashes and screws up his landing, meaning it's just me and the F6F5. Now, the F6F5 is a good plane, but he's not good enough to take on the 3 remaining enemy pods. He's got a BF-109F4 in his tail and a DO-217 at yeah, the engagement goes about as well as you can think, and suddenly the F6F is shot down, so I am now alone in a 3 versus 1 engagement. However, I am flying the Spitfire Mark 5B, and this plane is a bit of a monster. So right now, there are about 1,000 different things going through my mind, and if you find yourselves in this kind of situation, my first thoughts are don't panic. Now, I know it says up there the 109, oh no, the 109 is lost one, so ignore me. Don't panic. Analyze the situation. So I know that there's a 217 and a 109F4. I haven't been paying attention to the combat log, so I don't know just yet that the Z1007 is also still alive. So for all I know, there's another mystery fighter out there. In a minute, I'm going to clock. You won't see it because I was using the C view, and I'm going to see the Z100 is actually down there on the left-hand side of the screen. Probably just out of your guys' view of the So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to climb. The DO-217 is passing underneath me, and I'm looking at these two guys thinking, where is the 109? I know there's a 109F4. He is the most dangerous plane. I can handle a 217 in a gold plane. I can easily shoot down the Z100's 1007. However, there is a BF-109 on the enemy team who's a far more dangerous aircraft. But I don't know where he is, so I'm thinking, right, well, maybe I'll just try and shoot down the 217 and just try and take him out of the battle. I'm looking at Z1000, think, maybe I can go for him, but back to the 217s, I think, well, he's still the most dangerous of these aircraft. I realise the 217 is actually meant to put his guns on me, and I do not want to go into a head-on pass with an aircraft with that many cannons in the nose. There go his tracers, so I jig past him, and that's when I notice the BF-194. He is the most dangerous plane on the enemy team right now. If I can shoot him down, then I'm going to be able to dictate the engagement, but as long as he's still alive, I'm not going to have that luxury. So I'm pulling up, because the 109 is trying to come up underneath me, so I'm not going to play his game. I'm not going to commit to a hit-on pass with a plane with a cannon in the nose. He only has to hit me once and my engine's knocked out, and then this game will be over. The 109 stalls out, and I come down. And this goes about as well as you can imagine. There's a 20mm Desmono's doing all the work once again. As I come out, I realise the 217 is trying exactly the same thing. He's trying to attack me from below. And I'm watching him, trying to juke in case he fires, he stalls out, and down we go. Now, I'm too into the habit of rolling up and flying inverted from down these planes. This aircraft has the carburetor fixed. It's not perfect, the carburetor plane will be starved of fuel if you hold that dive for too long. But there we go, now the 217 is down, so we're on 4 kills. We turned a 3-on-1 engagement into a 1-on-1 engagement, but now I've got some choices to make. Our landing craft, how many knots capture the airfield? You don't basically land where you are while the aircraft carriers. I'm out of 20 minutes of cannon ammunition, about 900 rounds of 7.7. My engine was also in engagement, so my engine is now yellow. It is not going to last. So I've got some decisions to make. I can either try and shoot down the Z1000, or I can land the carriers rearm again. The problem is, landing a Mark 5B on a carrier is no easy task. If I screw up if I land on my belly, kill my engine, class of my aircraft will be shot down, and our team will lose the tickets before I can get it back up. If I try and land with gear, I might just stop the runway. So I decide I've only really got one option. I have to shoot down the Z1007 using only my 900 rounds of 7.7mm ammunition. Oh boy. Now, I don't know much about the Italian bombers, but here's what I do. His defensive guns aren't great, but if I have to sit on the tail of any plane for too long, I'm going to get shot. So this is going to be close. So I come in, try to cut across, and I'm hoping to get the pilot snipe here, but I'm not going to give him quite enough relief. So the shots are cool. Behind, I get a critical hit on something, I'm too close to the aircraft. Pull up, he's hit my engine again. My plane is basically in a glider at this point. I have to kill him now, so I pull back in like 6 o'clock, and I start spraying the 77 to take more hits. My plane's getting taking more and more damage, and I'm focusing in on that left engine. You see the smoke, and there he goes. There's his wing. My engine is completely dead. My engine is dead, my fuselage yellow, my left wing yellow, my oil's gone, my plane is losing speed, but the Z is down. So if I can just last just a few more seconds, just keep the aircraft in the air, the enemy ticket counter will start to deplete. There it goes. I have won the game and secured an ace in the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 5. It was a very hard one as well. So can we make it to the end? Yeah, I think we can. We still have a little bit of power left in the engine. It's not a complete divider just yet. And the ticket counter bleeds down. That was a victory. Okay then guys, so as you've seen this now, this is just as I finished playing the match that you've no doubt just witnessed from my review video. We managed to finish first on the team, claiming 103,249 silver lions and 5,000 RPs worth of research. That's just for the modifications of the aircraft. As for research towards the Mark 5C Spitfire, we gained 7,324 RP, and that was for 5 kills. Scoring us 3,960 points with the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 5B. Just go down the quick list of awards: Avenger, Shadow Strike ×3, Water Troop Rescuer, Professional 5, Final Blow, The Last Man Standing, and Terror of the Skies. Wow, that was one hell of a match. And so to summarise, what we have here is effectively just a fantastic aircraft at battle rating 3.7 that is both going to be friendly for any new players coming into the game, and be a joy for anyone coming down from the higher levels like myself to try and further your skills, or just maybe enjoy just some lower tier action. Guys, this plane is one of my most anticipated aircraft. I've been waiting for this plane to be introduced since I first started playing War Thunder in 2013. And now that it's here, I couldn't pass up an opportunity to drop a review, especially after that game, that last match we just witnessed, a 3-on-1 engagement with the Mark 5B Spitfire. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, because that's going to be it from me for today. What I will say, obviously, if you enjoyed this style of video and want to see more, then please consider pressing that subscribe button. I am going to be doing more videos like this one. The next aircraft I'm going to try to review is hopefully going to be the BF-109 F4, so I can kind of do a counterpart to this aircraft. But we will see what happens. If I get footage for a different plane in the meantime, then I'll probably do that first. It'll depend on how it goes. I am also going to be doing a video on the tanks, because I know there's a lot of you who are probably going to want to see this thing. If you do want to see some more stuff from me in the meantime, while I make the next video, please consider following me on Twitch, where I do stream more or less every day, so every 2 to 3 days normally. I'm actually off all week, so if you're watching this video the day it goes up, or within a couple of days, chances are I might be on that day, or about to be on later on in that day. So do click on my Twitch link down below in the description, drop us a follow, and come hang out. We can talk about some planes, talk about some tanks. I'm not the most knowledgeable person in the world of this stuff, but I know a fair bit, probably more than most. So anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Consider leaving a like if you did, and subscribe if you want to see some more. And if you don't, it's absolutely fine. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.